So, it comes to this. Man to man, mano a mano, toe to toe, nose to nose, shirts and skins, eggs over meat.
Think of a shrimp on a Barbie doll's head.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
And I'm laying there with my feet sticking up in the air. Hi, welcome to Comedy Parenting Radio, the show that guarantees migrating ducks out your window during every Thanksgiving dinner.
Quack, quack.
We want to welcome our top 3 countries that are listening to Comedy Parenting Radio. Number 1 is the US of A, followed by number 2 is Russia. Second most popular is Russia listening to Comedy Parenting Radio. And what do you guys think might be the third most popular?
The Duchy of Grand Fenwick.
Ireland.
What do you think, Courtney?
Costa Rica?
Costa Rica.
That's part of the U.S., isn't it? No.
No, it's its own country.
Yeah.
We'll show you that on the map later.
I know. I just...
The Island Nublar.
It's Australia.
Australia? Australia or Austria?
Some shrimp on the barbecue, mate.
On the Barbie. Not barbecue.
Put some shrimp on the barbecue, mate.
No, on the Barbie.
Put some shrimp on the barbecue, mate.
No, Barbie. Think of a Barbie doll. Think of a shrimp on a Barbie doll's head.
Okay. Put some shrimp on the Barbie, mate.
We've got Courtney over there in the studio. How's it going today, Courtney?
Spectacular.
Josh, what's up?
Absolutely nothing.
And Elijah, how's it going?
I have 2 loose teeth.
Ooh. And Josiah, what's up with Josiah here? I hear we have an official letter to read about Josiah.
So we have a letter. Looks like Josiah Begley will be not being on the air today. He'll be
What does this letter say?
It says that he will not be on the air because he is sick. So he's going to kind of retire for one show, see if he can get better, and then he'll probably be on the next show.
It says, signed, my doctor. Well, looks official to me. Okay. I guess you don't have to be on the show today. Yes, Josh.
For all of the people out in Radioland who don't know what props we use, that was actually Dad's shopping list.
Shh. We're going to be talking about beginner ski lessons, low-level skiing. We'll be right back.
Are you a failure as a parent or grandparent? Do your little ones cry for no apparent reason?
Do you have lots of money?
If you answered yes to these or any other invasive questions, we have good news for you. Treesock Press was named after a cat.
A very cute cat.
Treesock Press printed a book. That book is available in nearly indestructible hardback form and is printed with non-toxic ink so your little dinosaur can virtually eat the book. If this all seems too good to be true, you can go buy a cheap Disney book that's printed in China. Books printed in China aren't as good for teething toddlers as ones printed in Wisconsin.
What's the name of our book?
Dad the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come. This book is funnier than a root canal on a sinking ship.
I didn't know ships had teeth.
Order your copies of Dad the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come from Amazon today. Or tomorrow if you're on the international dateline.
Comedy Parenting Radio.
La la.
You're back with Comedy Parenting Radio, and we're talking about beginner ski lessons because, well, they don't let Dad teach anything better than that.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
That's what it seems like.
The fact that I teach a lot of beginner ski lessons?
Yeah.
Boy, can I tell you about beginner ski lessons. But you guys have been in beginner ski lessons too, haven't you?
Yes.
Of course, otherwise we wouldn't be this good.
You wouldn't know how to ski, would you? Yeah. What's the hardest thing about a beginner ski lesson?
Standing on the skis.
The hardest part for me was taking off and on my skis.
Absolutely correct, is putting skis on. As a matter of fact, I've seen a lot of people try to step into their skis backwards. You would think if the one end curves up in the air and the other end doesn't curve up in the air, that you might want the curvy part to go down the hill first so it doesn't catch in the snow. They could look at a good skier, which is not me, and then they could see how to do things, right? Instead, They just kind of stand there and stare at the sky, you know. When I first started teaching skiing in Aspen years ago, my boss's name was Frog, and we would go up Panda Peak, and he'd say, see if you can somehow get them off the chairlift and pick up all the bodies off the ground, stand them on their feet, get them over the fence, and try to get them to all ski across the hill sideways, and everybody go crash over on that side of the hill. So you would do that, and you could get, like, say, 8 out of 10 people would go across the hill and crash over there. 2 people would turn and go straight down the hill screaming.
That hill is not very steep in actuality, is it?
No, but trust me, 20 miles an hour on skis when you don't know how to stop is very frightening. Anyway, we would zigzag all the way down the mountain, get to the bottom, and then the ski instructor smiled and said, see, that wasn't so bad. And people have snow packed up under their goggles. They have snow in their undies. They've got snow down their gloves, up their coats. They've got snow everywhere.
Up their noses.
Up their noses, in their ears. And they say, okay, let's get back on the chairlift and do it again.
And they do, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Trust me, it'll be easier the second time.
I honestly don't remember my beginner ski lessons. I was too little, but I've heard some pretty funny stories about your beginner ski lessons, Dad.
Oh, when I first learned how to ski?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was in college. I was not going to learn how to ski.
What were you there for?
Well, I was in college, and I was just going to learn to cross-country ski because I knew that alpine skiing is very expensive. And my friend Mark almost literally grabbed me by the collar and said, look, you idiot, we're in the best place to ski in the entire world. If you don't learn to alpine ski, you're a loser. So I bought some cheap equipment, and we learned to ski. And so when it came time to start the lesson, there were a lot of people around there at the base area. They said, okay, if you've ever been on a chairlift, go that way. If you've never been on a chairlift, go that way. Mark and I looked at each other, and we went to the way with the people who had been on a chairlift before. And we skied down to the chairlift simply by watching people push their feet apart and make a giant pizza shape with the skis, like a giant letter A thing.
Yeah.
It's called a wedge. And we kind of got down there and went, whoa, that's kind of creepy. Went up the chairlift, and what had happened was to take this lesson through the college, they told us how to prep skis with a base wax of red. And you iron the wax on with iron red wax. But I forgot the part about where they said to scrape it all off, and then put another wax on top of that. And so I just had these big globs of red wax on the bottom of my ski. And this is about in the middle of winter here. And so when it came time to get off the chairlift, I stood up because I watched. That's what you're supposed to do, is stand up and slide. And my skis didn't go anywhere, and the chair banged me in the back of the head. About knocked me out because we did not have helmets back then. And I kind of walked down off the ramp and went over there. And the hill was steep enough that you could actually slide a little tiny bit. And so then you do a ski down where they have the bosses down there and all the different classes, and they watch you ski down. Yeah. And so I watched people ski down who I thought were my level, which was 0. And I put my legs apart and skied skied down the hill, and I think the wax kept me from going too fast.
Wax will do that.
Yeah, so I didn't appear to be like an absolute positive beginner, but they knew I was a pretty low-level skier. And they put me in this one class with an instructor guy and then one gal from the college. Mark, being the athletic guy, he got to go one level above me.
Ooh.
I think.
Were you jealous?
Yeah, he was probably in the level 3 class. I was probably level 2 out of 10, 2 out of 9. Comedy Parenting Radio, talking about low-level skiing. We'll be right back.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, all right. Think about it. Where did you have them last?
I remember I was home, then I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the in-flight magazine.
And that's the last you saw of your savings?
Yes?
This is so weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke its gauntlet.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Breaker 19, this here's a rubber duck. You got a copy on me, Pigpen? Come on. Yeah, 10-4, Pigpen, for sure. By golly, it's clean clear to Flagtown. Come on. Yeah, it's a big 10-4 there, Pigpen. Yeah, we definitely got the front door, good buddy. Mercy sakes alive. Looks like we got us a convoy.
You're back with Comedy Parenting Radio, talking about beginner skiing, low-level skiing, and I was explaining my first day ever taking a lesson with the red wax, banged my head on the chairlift getting off because my skis didn't want to slide down the mountain very well. And we took off from that spot where you do the ski down and separate into classes, and my skis just weren't moving, really. I'm almost cross-country skiing down the mountain. I should have taken up cross-country to begin with. I was walking down the mountain. And so we got to a little steeper hill. My ski instructor said, Jerry, stand sideways like this and make your skis go flat on the snow sideways, and you will do a side slip. So I stood sideways and I bent my knees so that the skis went flat on the snow, and they didn't slide at all. He said, bend your knees farther down the hill. I bent them farther. He goes, no, farther than that. And I kept bending them until I fell all the way over down the hill. And I'm laying there with my feet sticking up in the air. And he said, let me see your skis. And he went over there, and there were great globs of snow stuck to the bottom of my skis. And he looks at my skis and said, you've got red wax on here. I said, I know. That's what they told us to do. And he said, no, you're supposed to do that for a base wax just to seal everything up and then put the correct wax on for the day. And I said, what color wax should I have on today? And the guy said, either blue or green, but definitely not red. That's why you got all the snow stuck to the bottom. So he scraped a lot of the wax off. We went to the bottom, and he got even more wax off. And the lesson went on from there, and the rest is history. And now I'm a world-famous ski instructor in Aspen.
World famous meaning his world.
Teaches beginner ski lessons.
Has anybody ever had any cool ski instructors when you went to ski school?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Who did you have, Courtney, that you liked?
Well, several of them. Mustang Molly, Jenny, and then there's one called Sandy the Sandpiper. She was awesome. She gave us nicknames because of the different things that we did. Like Heidi, she stuffed an entire hot dog in her mouth, so she got the name Chipmunk. And then I was bouncing around all over the place, couldn't keep my skis on, and so I was named Squirrel. And then she met Joshua later on, and she called him Joshua Tree.
Okay, you've been listening to Comedy Parenting Radio. Low-level skiing happens every day of the wintertime all around the world. Boy, do we see it. We know it. We live it. We own it. Thanks for being in the studio, you guys.
No problem.
You're welcome.
You are welcome.
And before you guys go,
Yeah?
can you help me get these ski boots off my feet, please?
You are now free to move about the cabin.